Hey there! Welcome to another deep dive with us.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're going to be tackling AI.
Ooh.
Specifically, all the debates surrounding it. We're not
Okay.
here to, settle anything.
Of course.
More to just, explore, the big question.
Yeah. Understanding the different sides and all.
Exactly. And I think, one of the biggest things people are talking about is AI bias.
For sure.
There's this study, right, from Nature that shows how AI in credit scoring can actually, make racial bias worse.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Imagine, right, applying for a loan and getting rejected.
Uh-huh.
But not because of, your credit history.
Right.
Because an algorithm, decided
Yeah.
based on, bad data.
Trained on biased data. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
It is. And it's not just like a theory, This is happening.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Think about how these algorithms work.
Oh,
They're trained on huge, massive amounts of data. And if that data already has those biases in it,
yeah.
the AI is going to learn them.
So it's not the AI is trying to be biased
No, not at all. It's more like inheriting it.
from the data it's trained on.
Exactly. And this kind of connects to another debate that's going on.
Okay.
In South Korea,
Uh-huh.
they're testing facial recognition in public.
Oh, wow.
And the argument is increased security.
I could see that.
But the concern is privacy.
Yeah, for sure. Is it worth it, right?
Right. That whole tension between surveillance and security.
That comes up a lot with AI, huh?
It does. We want the benefits, right?
Uh-huh.
But not Big Brother watching us all the time.
Right.
And then there's this whole other debate. It's huge.
Okay.
Artificial General Intelligence, AGI.
So AGI, for people who don't know.
Yeah.
It's basically AI that's as smart as, a person.
Exactly, yeah. And there are, big names, like Sam Altman.
Okay.
He's the CEO of OpenAI. And he's saying, let's be careful. Let's take a measured approach to this.
Okay.
But then you have people like Geoffrey Hinton,
Mm-hmm.
who, literally, people call him the godfather of AI.
Wow.
And he's saying, whoa.
Okay.
This is dangerous. We got to be really cautious.
Interesting. He's been doing this for so long.
Decades, yeah. And he's not, afraid of technology.
Oh,
he gets it,
Yeah.
But that's why he's worried. What if we make something we can't control?
Yeah, it's kind of are we opening Pandora's box here?
Yeah, it is.
Should we slow down?
Yeah.
Or just, go for it?
That's the million-dollar question. And, who even decides?
Right.
Governments are trying to, step in.
Oh, really?
The EU, for example.
Mhm.
They want to regulate what they're calling, high-risk AI systems.
Okay.
But, of course, the big tech companies are pushing back.
Oh, I bet. Saying it'll stifle innovation.
Exactly. So it's not just about the tech anymore,
Yeah.
right?
It's political, it's economic.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, who's really going to be in charge of this whole thing?
Yeah. Is it going to be governments? Corporations? Should it be, the people?
Right. It's complicated. And what's interesting is, AI isn't just in some lab somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's out there. It's changing things, even how wars are fought.
Really?
Yeah. And healthcare.
Wow.
So many ethical questions. Like the UN, right?
Uh-huh.
They're trying to figure out this whole thing with autonomous weapons.
Killer robots?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Imagine a battlefield where machines are making life or death decisions.
Oh, wow.
No humans involved.
Yeah. Chilling.
And who's responsible if something goes wrong?
Right. If, a robot malfunctions.
Exactly. And can we even, program a machine to make ethical choices?
Yeah. In a war zone, that's tough.
Really tough. And it's not just war. AI is being used for mental health diagnoses.
Really?
Yeah, they're using social media data.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like, it could be good.
Okay.
Catch things early.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah, there's got to be a but.
there's always a but. Imagine an algorithm reading your posts,
Oh.
trying to figure out your mental state.
Without me knowing.
Yeah. And is that, helpful or is it just creepy?
That's a really fine line.
It is. And it makes you think, are we getting too dependent on these algorithms to understand ourselves?
Right. And what if they're wrong?
Exactly. These are big questions. We're just starting to, scratch the surface.
But it's clear AI is making us rethink our relationship with tech.
Totally. And with each other. And
No.
with ourselves, even.
It's almost like AI is holding up a mirror.
Yeah, showing us who we are.
Our values, our hopes, our fears.
All of it. And speaking of fears,
Uh-oh.
we can't talk about AI without talking about jobs.
Yeah, that's a big one. People are worried about AI taking their jobs.
Rightfully so. And some jobs, they will be automated.
But hasn't that always happened?
Right, like the printing press,
The car.
the internet.
Yeah, like all those things changed things, but they also made new jobs.
Exactly. And it's the same with AI. A McKinsey report, they said,
Yeah.
some jobs will go away, but new ones will pop up. The key is to adapt.
Learn new skills.
Right. Reskilling. Maybe even rethink what work even means.
Because it might not be about jobs as we know them anymore.
Right. It's not just the number of jobs. It's about, the quality of those jobs.
And how we, share the wealth.
Exactly. If AI is doing so much of the work, then what?
That's a big question. And then there's this other thing happening.
What's that?
This legal battle
Oh, yeah.
between musicians and AI music generators.
Like jukebox.
Yeah. It's really interesting because it gets to, what does creativity even mean?
Right.
If an algorithm writes a hit song, who owns it?
Yeah, who owns it? The programmers. The people using the AI. Does the AI own it?
Whoa. It's like AI is forcing us to rethink everything.
It really is. The law, ethics, what it even means to be human.
In a world where machines can create.
It's a wild time to be alive. Challenging, but exciting, too. We're in the middle of this huge tech revolution.
And it could change everything.
It could, but we have to be responsible.
Yeah.
We have to have these conversations, ask these tough questions, figure this stuff out.
Because the future of AI, it's not set in stone.
It's something we're all creating together. And it's happening so fast.
Yeah, it feels like we're just, along for the ride.
Kind of swept up in all of it.
Yeah. But I think it's important to remember that we're not just, passive bystanders.
He's not.
We have choices to make about how this, all plays out.
Absolutely. We have a choice in how we shape the future, and that starts with understanding what we're dealing with.
Right.
That's why these debates are so important. They force us to, really look at these ethical dilemmas.
Yeah, the implications for society.
The good and the bad.
The risks.
All of it.
So to just, kind of recap what we've talked about so far.
Yeah.
We've got AI bias.
Right.
Where the algorithms can, pick up on existing bias.
And make things worse.
Yeah, leading to, unfair outcomes.
Exactly.
And then there's, the whole AGI thing.
Oh, yeah.
Which raises a ton of questions about, what is intelligence?
Consciousness.
Can we even, control something that's smarter than us?
And then there's the military applications.
Right, like autonomous weapons.
Machines making life and death decisions.
Scary stuff.
Really scary. And we've also got AI in healthcare.
Uh-huh. Using social media to, diagnose people.
Which brings up all sorts of issues about privacy.
Consent.
And whether we should even be relying on algorithms for something as important as our health.
That's a lot to think about.
It is. And then there's the whole question of power.
Yeah, who's actually in control of all this?
Who benefits?
Who takes the risks if things go wrong?
Exactly.
It's like this big tangled web of, different players.
And it's not always clear who's pulling the strings.
Right. And it feels like the choices we make now about AI are going to have, huge ripple effects.
For sure, for generations to come.
So it's important that we're all, part of this conversation.
Absolutely. We need to educate ourselves.
Demand transparency from the people developing AI.
Hold them accountable.
It can all feel a little overwhelming, though, right?
It can. It's such a huge topic. So much to learn.
Where do we even start?
I think the first step is to just admit that it's complicated.
Yeah.
There are no simple answers.
Right. It's not about, being pro-AI or anti-AI.
It's about having a real conversation.
Listening to different perspectives.
Trying to figure out how to use AI responsibly.
For the good of everyone.
Right. And that starts with asking questions.
What are the potential benefits?
How can we make sure AI is used ethically?
And who gets to decide all this?
Exactly. Should it be left to the tech companies?
The governments.
Or should the people have a say?
These are big questions that go way beyond just the technology itself.
They're about what kind of future we want.
Do we want a future where AI concentrates power?
Or a future where it empowers people?
Creates a more just world.
These are the choices we have to make.
And it all starts with being informed.
Engage.
And willing to have these tough conversations.
Absolutely. We need to hear from everyone.
Different backgrounds.
Different perspectives.
We need to challenge our assumptions.
Think critically.
So to all of you listening out there,
we want to hear from you.
What are your thoughts on all this?
What are your hopes for the future of AI?
What are your fears?
What questions are you struggling with?
Let us know.
Share your thoughts in the comments.
Join the conversation online.
Let's keep this dialogue going.
It's kind of crazy how, everyone's talking about AI now.
I know, right? It's not just, the tech people anymore.
It's like policymakers, regular people.
It's everywhere.
It really shows you how much of an impact it's already having.
Yeah, and how much it could change things in the future.
Exactly. And that's why we need to, talk about this stuff.
Have these conversations.
Not just, freak out or get all hyped up.
Yeah. We need to really think about what this all means.
For, society, ethics, the economy.
All of it.
Because AI is a tool, right?
It is.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Depends on us.
So, where do we even go from here?
That's the question, isn't it?
What can we do, as individuals?
Well, we can start by learning.
Educating ourselves about AI.
Reading, listening, talking to people.
Knowledge is power, right?
Exactly. The more we understand, the better choices we can make.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, challenge the assumptions.
Demand transparency.
From the people making these AI systems.
Push for regulations that make sense. It's about making our voices heard.
Absolutely.
Not just as, consumers.
But as citizens.
Who care about the future.
And it's not just about, being a tech expert.
No, we need everyone's perspective.
Artists, ethicists,
Philosophers.
everyday people.
Everyone has something to contribute.
Because the future of AI, it's too important to leave it to just a few people.
It's something we need to figure out together.
As a society.
So, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI.
Yeah, we covered a lot.
Hopefully, got you thinking.
And asking some questions.
If you want to keep learning, there are tons of resources out there.
Share your thoughts in the comments.
Let's keep talking about this.
Because AI is here to stay.
And the future's, up to us.
To shape.
So until next time,
Keep exploring.
keep questioning.
And keep shaping the future.